welcome to the first ever edition of Viking Women's Basketball with Karlie Burris. Coach, it's been a little bit, we're into the season a little bit, but we weren't able to get your first conference home weekends just because of the holidays and whatnot. So we're catching up people now. You won that conference opener against Weber State on New Year's Day. Lost the other four, but have been really close in three of them, leading or tied in the fourth quarter. What improvements have you seen for the start of the conference season from non-conference play?
Yeah, I think, like you said, three of those four games we've been in the game, right, which is big. So for us, it's just kind of that next level of execution and how we can close out games, learning how to win games as a group. And that's all of us collectively how we can do it. And so that's what we're talking about. After every post game, I usually talk about execution a lot. So that's what it boils down to. I felt like in this last game against Northern Arizona, we ran out of gas a little bit, and then there went our mental lapses as well as our physical. And so, they got hot and we got cold, but I think a lot of that just was kind of due to us not being able to kind of close out the game.
Nice. And, something in those close games are obviously you look at every possession, and a lot of the time the opponent has ended up with more possessions than us, whether from our turnovers or for our offensive rebounds on their ends.
Yeah.
How can you limit that? Because I'm sure that's something that'll be a focus for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's been huge. I thought we have done a pretty good job defensive rebounding. As of late, it's been, kind of a bugaboo for us. And so we've gotten back to, the rebounding drills and that sort of thing, but just really being a point of emphasis when we go live play. Because I think we're really athletic, have really good rebounders, and so just getting that to not be an afterthought, but just an automatic thing. Ball security has been huge to us, so we've tinkered with moving people in different positions. Obviously, the Big Sky is a conference that, applies full court pressure, and so that's something we're going to have to, really get good at, especially when we face Montana State and, schools of that nature. But, ball security, we need extra possessions, and we've been shooting a decent percentage, but we haven't had the ball nearly enough times. So for sure, those are 2 points of emphasis that we're working on.
Yeah, and you mentioned the shooting that good percentage. That's one of the frustrations is you've actually outshot 4 of your 5 conference opponents. So you typically, of course, you think, oh, we outshot them, we should win.
Yeah.
But that's also a sign of improvement, of course. You've been over 40% in 4 of the 5 conference games when you were only over 40% 5 times in non-conference play. So yeah. This offense is improving, but what have you seen most importantly?
Yeah, the offense has for sure. I think we're getting the right people the right shots, but we're still working on, moving the ball a little bit more. We've talked about it again. I can't leave it just up to Kylie. Obviously, Hannah Chicken has had some big games for us. We still need Ajay and Cece chipping in, but then we kind of need those complementary players. We need Lainey to be aggressive and playing at a high level. We need Taylor to be able to knock down some shots, and then that's where, again, you would hope that Sophie with Jamia back, she gives us a much different look just from an offensive threat. And so, in the games you look at, when we have a high assist number, usually our percentage is up. And so, we want to move the ball and hopefully, our percentage go up even higher.
Nice. All right, well, let's get into this week. So Eastern Washington comes into the pavilion first on Thursday. A strong rebounding team behind Courtney Grossman, leading the nation with over 13 rebounds a game individually.
Yeah.
What do you see from this matchup?
Yeah, just incredible front court with, Grossman and Eggers in terms of their rebounding numbers, and even their guards play, right? There are 2 guards that start for them and do a really good job of rebounding the basketball. And so, again, a huge point of emphasis for us is all 5 rebounding on the defensive end, which we talk about every game, but even more so now. So a lot of it is, yes, our post, we're undersized, but us getting a little bit lower, and then our guards helping to cover down.
Well, and then Idaho comes in Saturday, also a really good rebounding team. They're also the top scoring offense in the conference, and they've won 4 of 5 with the one loss being to Montana State with the league leaders. So what do you see from the Vandals?
Yeah, Deb, I used to watch her when she was at USF, and I think Arthur's done a really good job of getting in some transfers that fit his system. He has that European style of play, so a lot of ball screens, a lot of free movement, and so I think they do a really good job of sharing the basketball. So they have multiple scorers, again, I think either 4 or 5 in double figures. So you have to guard everyone. You have to know the scouting report. We have to take away kind of their first action, and hopefully they have to go to their second and third look. And if we make them make tough shots, we're going to have to live with some of them. But then again, like you said, we're going to have to limit them to 1 shot, increase our possessions, and take care of the ball, and then hopefully give ourselves a shot.
All right, there it is. Thursday, 7 p.m. against Eastern Washington. Saturday, 2 p.m. against Idaho. Fans come early on Thursday for a Squishmallow giveaway, which is a plush victor. For tickets and all other information, visit GoVikes.com.